muzzleloader, it's here. December 9th for me. It's the first day that I've been able to get up here, so the season's been rolling along, just I haven't been able to get up here and chase them on the snow yet. So it's two good things. One, the snow. Two, it's getting later in the season, so a lot of these bucks have they're still doing their thing, but they're tired, they want to lay down. They're a little bit easier to catch up to if you can find a track. So we're gonna branch off to a new area that I've been just basically using the maps computer, looking for kind of new areas just to expand on what I know, and I figured I had one day, so I was going to invest some time into that for next year and try to find a buck track and learn a new spot. So I came up here a few years ago, multiple years ago. Good buddy gave me a spot, just a hub, just to start on, just a road to drive, and I thank him for that. And we, or myself, have driven a bunch of roads up here. Found a new spot last year the same way I found this one, and we scouted a little bit, hunted it, and ended up killing a nice buck with a rifle. Last day of rifle last year. Now we're back up here doing kind of the same thing, just to expand for the years to come. If we ever take a week to come up here and jump around, it's just nice to have more spots, and can never hurt. So that's what we're doing. See if we can find a buck track. It's 5 degrees, it's pretty chilly, but we're gonna we got this track that's halfway decent. I can't tell how old it is. We haven't had any fresh snow, but by touching it, it's, my gut's telling me it was in the last probably 6-7 hours, so it could be 2 hours old for all I know, but we're gonna get on it. Just had another hunter. I was down just to check the rest of the road, but he was parked in the road. For some reason he wasn't gonna move, so I thought he was stuck, so I talked to him, but he said, no, I'm gonna sit right here. I said, all right, I'm gonna go tracking, he says. The problem is they're moving. I said, well, I'm gonna be moving too. So we're on our way. He's already acting like he don't want to feed, so try to see if we can catch up on him, or hopefully he bedded down for a while. We can catch up to him real quick. Seems like a decent buck. I haven't followed him for, I don't know, maybe a half a mile, but it's not like fresh, but it's probably one of the freshest things I've come across. It's easy to follow him. It's fresher than the rest. So, but I just saw this cool thing. You can see where he walked up to this licking branch and actually had the thing swinging around so much that it came down. You can see where it was hitting the snow. I'll show you. So we're kind of walking this old cut bench, and then there's this licking branch right there. But when I came up, you can see he made a point to walk over to the right to hit this. And there's a couple of broken branches on it, but he must have had that thing swinging because it's up here and he was hitting the ground with it. So that's pretty cool. Gonna continue on, see if we can at least find where he's bedded to gain some time. Put the GoPro on. I've never used it before, but we're gonna try. We've been about 2 miles.
miles on this deer, straight up the hill. And we finally got to the top, but before I was getting to the top, he kept deciding which side he was going to go around because of the wind. So he ended up making a loop and making his way, and I knew he was going to be up here, but I was hunting my way up slow, look. And he just did the big J, came around, and he picked two. He finally picked the third spot, but he tried to bed 2 times before that. So he came up, I'm pretty sure that's his jump tracks going out, so I did spook him coming up, but that's okay. All I wanted to do was freshen him up anyway, so I'm happy about that. Now I just know I'm in the game now, so now I can read him and I know what he's doing, so. I've given about 10-15 minutes. I'm going to wait maybe another 5 minutes. I'm just going to slow just to start, and then I'm going to pick up until he starts to walk again, so. I'm just going to hunt just because I'm not completely to the top. I'm just going to go slow. Once I get to the top, then I'll speed on his tracks a little bit until he slows down, and then I'll hunt him again, so. I don't know how this is going to work. I've never done it, so I'm going to try my best. Let's get him. Big old bull moose. Buck down, baby. Oh, that was fun. It's always a fun. It was pretty cool. I jumped him out of that bed. I come up through here. We had that big bull moose. Me and him had a standoff, just stared at each other. I'm only quiet because I shot him in his bed. He's laying there dead, but it's a muzzleloader, and I just reloaded. I don't see him moving, but I'm gonna work up there in a minute. But he just took me up this hill after he passed that moose, and then came all the way up, and I came to a little rise, but it's thick in here. I mean, I wasn't even expecting to get a shot off in here, but I come over the rise, and I had stopped just before to catch my breath because I just climbed up, and then I started my way over, and I just caught a glimpse of a beam in the light, and I'm just peeking through the trees, and I could see his nose, and he was looking right at me. So I took the old Woodman arms. I got the I don't carry a scope just because I'm tracking. I can't do it. I gotta go with the peep sight. So anyways, I shot him with the Woodman arms here with the got the peep, tracker's peep. So anyways, I poked a little. I had a little window down through there, and I put it, I think, right on his lower part of his neck when he was in his bed, and he's laying there still. So I think we're gonna walk up and check him out. This is awesome. To give you an idea, he went right down through there. I seen the tracks there, so basically my dad came up, I just happened to catch a glimpse down through this little hole right there. Shot him right in his bed right there. There he lays. Again, I got no clue what he is. I'm gonna go find out in a minute. I'm happy no matter what he is. Man, got a lot of snow up here. What a hunt. I had one day to come up here. I waffled on buying a tag yesterday. I said, do I do it? I haven't had time to get up here, and I was like, you know what? Might as well buy it. I only got so much time. I just figured one day is well worth it. It's a good time, so I'll go see what we shot. Whatever he is, I'm happy with him. Yep, there he is. Nice buck. Nice buck. Oh yeah. Cool buck too. Big buck. Big body. That's a big boy right there, boys. Look at the hoof on him. That's a big boy. Yep. Wow, he's a big old 6. Nice deer. Shot him right in his bed right there. Super cool. Let's put that Woodman down. Oh man. Boy, I love that. Up in the mountains. And as usual, we got a drag ahead of us. God dang it. Boy. Good deal.
bobtail tail. That guy this morning in the truck, he said, well, they're moving, so. What a cool buck for the day. It's neat. Fun morning in Maine. That's cool. Nice deer. Some palmation kind of there. Decent body on him. Can't figure out what he's got, some big hooves, but what a fun morning with the muzzleloader. That was cool. This thing's a shooter. Oh, I love carrying this thing. Anyways, this morning was a good one. The weather's good. The snow's perfect. The only thing it had going against me was it hasn't really snowed much since the last snowfall. So we had a couple of days of tracks that you were seeing everywhere, but you could kind of age the track. But either way, it was cool. I rode around a bunch this morning. I left at 1:30. Got up here, rode around for a while, had coffee, and just there was tracks everywhere. Old tracks. I mean, stuff was people tracks on top of tracks. So it wasn't like motivating when, you know, fresh snow, when you see a track cross the road, you know it's within the last few hours or 5 hours or whatever. But this was the best track that I saw this morning. After way at the end, it was daylight when I found it. Just cracking daylight. Sun was coming up. It was probably the best track. I wouldn't say size-wise. I saw one that was pretty decent, but a good track. And then the biggest thing is that it seemed like it was the freshest, and I didn't know if it was still, you know, 12, 14 hours or it was 3 hours. It was tough because it was 5 degrees this morning. So, but I drove up, and there was a guy up here, and he was sitting in the middle of the road and didn't want me to drive by him. So I checked if he was stuck, and he said nope. He said I'm gonna sit right here. So I put it in reverse, and I already had this track picked out to go to, so I wheeled it reverse, got my stuff together. The funny part was, though, I said, well, I guess I'm going to go track one. He said, well, it's tough going this morning tracking because they're moving. I said, I need them to move, so that was good. Anyways, I got on the track, and it was so cold that I kept getting to spots where they, you know, he had taken a leak or taken a shit or whatever it was, and piss looked fresh, but it was frozen solid, so it was hard to tell on time. But I kept thinking, I know having bonfires or whatever, when you're outside and you're dressed up and you get, you know, 5-degree weather, your beer freezes in 5 minutes. So I kept thinking about that as I was going, and he made his way all the way top of that hill, and I seen him start to make the big swoop to the top, and I was like, he's bedded right up here. At least he's bedded and moved on or whatever. But so I slowed myself down a little bit, but it was thick. He put himself in a good spot, and he caught me before I caught him, and off he went. And I got up to his bed and saw that he went, so I took 20 minutes and got on him again, and he went down through this big valley. I could see all the way to the other side, and he wasn't anywhere in there. So I ran through that and got to the other side, and he got in this thick stuff was down that way, and I come up to a bull moose standing there looking at me, and I thought that was cool. So I watched that for a minute or two, and then he took off right over the top of the buck's track. So I followed the moose tracks and the buck tracks with the moose on top for a while, and then the moose spun off down the hill, and the buck went right up to the top. So at that point, the buck was walking, so I took my time up the hill, but it was steep. So by the time I got to the top, I was a little winded. So before I crested this knob over here, as he was walking slow, and I knew it was that time of the year that he's going to bed again. So I caught my breath before I went peeking over the hill, and I caught my breath, and I slowly walked over the top of the hill, scanning through all this thick whippet stuff, and I just caught a glimpse of his antler with the sun, and I was like, oh, there he is. And then once I zoned in, he was laying in his bed looking back on his back track, but he just happened to not catch me. He was just laying there, and it looked like he was looking right at. He could have been looking at me, I don't know, but pulled up, put it on him, and dropped him in his bed. So that was a fun one. I love it. It's good.